Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894. I'm Hugh and I've got Dara here with me as always. It's been a while, Dara, hasn't it? It feels like it's been a long time since we played a game.
Yeah, well, we'll have had a 6 day break. I'm not accustomed to that personally, since we started this, but I don't care. We were given a little favour by Leicester there, so we can go into this one. No real worries. I'm happy enough.
Well, the people don't know what this one is because they're not said it yet. It's a preview for City versus Newcastle, a Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. Sky Sports or BT, whoever's shown it, has moved it for TV. It was meant to be a weekend game, but now it's just Friday evening. But it is what it is. Listen, we are going into this, as Dara said, as champions. We thought after we lost to Chelsea last weekend, we may have to win this to wrap it up. But our boys down in Leicester did us a nice favour, so we're champions, and we can go into this with a bit more of a relaxed attitude and possibly maybe a bit more rotation, depending on what the feeling is. But we're going to talk about our predicted 11 in a few minutes because I think there's plenty of talking points there. But going into this, Dara, as champions, do you think it changes the mindset? And I don't mean just this game individually. I mean, we've got 3 fixtures left. I think it's Newcastle, followed by Brighton, and then Everton.
Yeah. I think there will be a bit of rotation. I think the next two can kind of just be, if you ever were to experiment, the next two could have a go at it. But I think we all agree here that he doesn't want to lose 2 in a row. He doesn't want that to be a massive shock to the system, especially going into Chelsea in less than 3 weeks now. I think he might just put out the first team, although he could leave De Bruyne on the bench considering the Chelsea break he had with he was injured. He had it. Well, they said he was injured, but he's back training now, so it should be fine. But I think he'll be left out of it this week. But the rest will just be starting 11 really.
The thing is, you need to be very careful, Pep, because obviously now that the league is wrapped up, all attention does turn to the Champions League final. Okay, the 29th of May, playing Chelsea Champions League final, about just under 3 weeks away. But we've got 3 Premier League fixtures in between there, and they have to be utilised as effectively as possible. Because I mean, just under 3 weeks, it's a bit of a period of grace. Like, it's not a case of we're going from one weekend to the next weekend Champions League final. If he's not careful and maybe over rest or under rest, players can be tired going to the final or not sharp enough. Do you know what I mean? 3 weeks is a lot of time. If, let's say, I don't know, we decided to not play De Bruyne at all for 3 weeks and just say you're resting to the final, you could lose sharpness. Same with Foden. So I think he's got to be careful. So with this game, I think you're right. You'll probably see most of the top starting 11 players, and you'll see that in our predicted 11. You'll probably see most of the main players because I think at this stage it's just about maintaining sharpness, like I said, keeping them on their toes and keeping them ready and building day by day, literally a day by day plan towards that Champions League final. And then you might see a more fully rotated squad against Brighton, and then once again, either a half and half or fully strength squad against Everton to use as literally training exercises the week before the Champions League final. Would you agree on that kind of point?
Yeah, 100%. You can't just have the full team rested for 2 weeks now going into that final because they're going to come in and just be off the boil. You need them playing, whether it be with each other or a half and half team. So I think you're probably spot on that.
That's what I mean. I think he's got it. This will be a challenge for Pep in its own right. I'm sure they enjoyed their celebrations when the Premier League. I know they were in the Etihad or the training ground or somewhere last night enjoying themselves. So I'm sure they did. But now, like I said, attention does turn to the final, and this is going to be a challenge in its own right for Pep. Can he balance out rotating and maintaining sharpness? They're obviously going to be doing a fair bit of training. I have a feeling he might let them have a few days off. Maybe the star players a few days off. Maybe go away somewhere. I don't know, depending on restrictions. Spend time with their families, but you'd have to think the next kind of 2 weeks from this weekend are going to be absolutely crucial in the build up to the Champions League final. So it's going to be an interesting talk. I think you may see some EDS players come in. Congratulations to the under 18s. I think of literally just at this time of recording, they've just won their Premier League as well. The under 18s won theirs at this time of recording, and the under 23s won it just a few weeks ago. We've watched a fair few of the under 23s games, Joe and Dara more so than me, but I've seen a fair bit of them. They've got a lot of quality, and I think it would be silly of Pep to not give them a chance, maybe on the bench against Newcastle, maybe play half an hour here and there against Brighton. And then the Everton game, I think, has to be used as almost kind of like a dress rehearsal for the Champions League final. Yes, you're taking a risk with injuries, but it has to be used as this is how we're going to play. This is how it's going to be done, because we don't want a similar scenario to whereby Lyon last year, the Champions League final, we're going in having done something we've not done in either a long time or not done at all, and it seems fresh and it's a bit overwhelming. So I think the Everton game will be treated like a big game, but the Brighton game next week can be used for maybe EDS players. You might see Palmer, Delap, Doyle, I don't know, whoever else could get half an hour, maybe not start, but they might get a go, and then maybe Newcastle as well. But listen, let's move over to our predicted 11 now and see who we've chosen. Okay, so let's get into our predicted 11. It is on screen right now for you to see. Joe giving you a bit of a challenge there. You can see it on screen now. It's a fairly strong team, okay? We've kind of picked a strong team on the basis that we don't think Pep's going to want to lose 2 in a row. We know we've wrapped it up officially now, but Pep's a competitive man and he does care about his record. I'm 100% sure. So in nets, we've gone for Ederson as always. Best keeper in the business. I always say this every time we pick him because I think he just is the best at what he does. We've gone for Diaz as usual in the left side of centre half, and Stones returns from his suspension. He should be fresh as a daisy, ready to make an impact, wanting to put his name in the mix for the Champions League final. Walker has not played since PSG. Zinchenko, I don't think has played since PSG, so they should both be fairly fresh and come and make an impact. Dara, what do you make of that full backline or that whole defence?
Yeah, it's probably spot on. You'd say Walker hasn't played since PSG. That'll probably be the case that he starts now. But I wouldn't be surprised seeing Cancelo. I think Zinchenko's certainty, to be honest. But Cancelo, he didn't look great against Chelsea. But I think there's a chance. There's a chance. We don't claim to be in the know. So it's just purely prediction.
In the midfield, we have gone for Rodri. He comes back in to replace the magnificent Fernandinho, who we've got reports is on the brink of signing a new contract with City. Is he? I don't know. I think they're talking about maybe a 1-year extension, and that would be fantastic because I let you in on a little fact last time, lads. I don't know if you remember this, but he's 36, so he can't play every single game. And Rodri's a fantastic player to have as well. He offers they offer 2 different things, but he's had a very good season overall, Rodri. Even though he's had his dips, he's had his ups, he's had his downs. So has everyone really. But Rodri will come in for us against Newcastle. Then just in front of him in the midfield, we've gone for Gundogan and Bernardo, both of them really top players. They've had both very good seasons when they be called upon, particularly Gundogan. And I think if he does pick these 2, it just echoes the point I'm making that he just doesn't want to lose 2 in a row, and he wants the players to keep that winning mentality going right up to the Champions League final. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for a Champions League final, it's all about fine margins, and you take every little advantage you can get. Imagine we were to lose against Newcastle, Brighton, and Everton, all 3 remaining Premier League games. This doubts probably start to creep into the minds of the players. So winning breeds winning. So he'll want to win this one just to get rid of that stigma of losing to Chelsea last week and get back on form. And up front on the left, we've gone for Foden. We think he's the strongest option on the left. No disrespect to Sterling. He's on his path back to success, Sterling. He is making progress very slowly, and we will see him back in top form very soon, I've no doubt. And he will have a role to play, I think, on the Champions League final at some stage, Sterling. I don't think he will start, but I do think he will play a role, and I think it is an opportunity for him to prove he is as good as we think he is. Jesus comes into false 9, based on the fact that we think De Bruyne is still slightly got a niggle or a knock, or maybe he's just being rested and we're told he's got a bit of an issue, but that's fine with me. Players like De Bruyne, I'm more than fine to see him get a rest every so often. Listen, like as always, this is just our predicted 11. Maybe De Bruyne will play, but who knows? So Jesus in false 9, he probably was one of our best, if not best players against Chelsea last weekend. He was really, really good, particularly in the first half. He made the first goal essentially, and he did really well for the penalty. Just we know how that turned out. And then Mahrez, the man of the month, essentially, has come back into the right for us. He has been, I think it's because he's come into top form so late in the season. He's not in the question for player of the season, but he's definitely in the conversation because he's been absolutely magnificent for City in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So from the midfield up there, what do you think? Why did we choose that, and what do you make of it?
Perfect. We don't want to lose. We want to win this. We want to get ourselves back on track. I don't see this is the perfect way to do it, especially if De Bruyne is injured. If not, then maybe have him in. But you said Jesus was one of our best against Chelsea. Thought he was the best. He was pressing. He was getting in behind players. Won back off Christensen for the goal. Sterling is. I know he's not in there, but he's still contentious. He could start because I actually thought he was really, really decent against Chelsea. And it's like I'd be classified as a Sterling hater, right? But he came in, he was brilliant. I thought he was quite good against Chelsea. So if he gets a start, I won't be particularly annoyed about it. I actually wouldn't mind it. So, a bit of luck, he can get a bit of games behind himself. And if he comes into the Champions League final four, you never know what's going to happen.
The only risk with picking players as good as the players we have picked today is injuries. It would be absolutely devastating to lose any of these players that are on the pitch or on this predicted 11 we have for the Champions League final. Absolutely crucial. But just on the Jesus and up front sort of situation, I think if the situation was different in last week's game, we possibly would have picked Aguero to start this, but I found it hard to really see Pep picking Aguero after what happened last weekend, just for this game as maybe a form of punishment. I think Aguero will play a part in the remaining Premier League games because he is obviously chasing his own personal records and he deserves it. He's a City legend, arguably the biggest of all time. So he deserves the moment and he deserves a send off from the Etihad Stadium. I'm sure. I hope fans turn out for that. But listen, I think just on this fixture, I find it hard to see Pep choosing him based on just the penalty alone last week was disgraceful. But we'll forget about it anyway. We'll move on to our score prediction. So the team we picked is really strong. Let's give our score predictions based on him actually picking this team. So you can go first.
Based on this team, 4-0.
4-0, you reckon?
Honestly, I think we can taunt them. They had their purple patch against Leicester. Leicester, I didn't watch again, but Joe was in the call. They were shy. Like we can, yeah, I think we could do damage to Newcastle. Genuine, I think we could kill them.
I'm going to go for 3-0 myself. It's kind of similar to the point you're making, but I think they're just going to have the fire in the belly at this stage. They know they're going to take great confidence now knowing they're champions. They're going to take confidence from the fact that they're in a Champions League final. They all want to be involved in that final. So every time any of them get minutes in the next 3 weeks, they're all going to be putting 110% in because they want to be a part of that Champions League final team. And then, of course, they don't want to lose 2 in a row. So I think there's more than enough incentives there for them to really go, like I said, with a fire in the belly and just thump Newcastle, blow them out of the water. But I feel like that could come back to bite me in the arse a little bit. So Dara says 4-0, I say 3-0, but who knows? We'll take a win today. Like I think the results aren't the main thing at this stage now. We've got it wrapped up. It's just about progression and making sure we're in the right mind frame and physically and mentally for the Champions League final. So let us know your score predictions down below and your thoughts on our predicted 11. Maybe would you put any other players in EDS? Anyone? Let us know. I'm curious to know what people would like to see Pep choose in these remaining games. I don't mean just Newcastle. Let us know what you'd like to see from the remaining fixtures altogether leading up to the final. So yes, let us know in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. We're still on the road to 250 subscribers. Your support will be massively appreciated if you can help us on our road to that goal. So do that if you would, and join the Discord if you fancy. You get your name on screen with all those nice people down below Dara there. So do that. Free to join. Link in description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you for a live watch along. We haven't done one of them in a while, Dara. You looking forward to it? Dara loves to watch along, so we'll be back doing a live watch along. We'll talk. There'll probably be a more chill one because there's nothing really riding on it, is there? We'll just talk about the season. We'll talk about what we would like to see in the next few weeks, and you can come in and give your thoughts too. Peace.